Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the live reaction show here with the X-Fan Show. As you see, my partner over there, he's actually on his way to work as we speak. So that's why you don't see his.
You can't see me. I'm that guy in WWE.
Well, apparently, Arlington, you can't be seen in Michigan, Memphis, and San Antonio anymore, according to Mr. Mike Rapoli, the one of the new owners of the UFL. Arlington.
You got to put that statement out, man.
Well, look, I'll put it up right now, Arlington, as we speak. Okay, here we go. This is from the UFL, courtesy of the UFL right here, or as Pat McAfee likes to call it, the
UXFL.
UXFL, as Pat McAfee likes to call it. Arlington, as you see, it says a statement from the United Football League about the departing of Michigan, Memphis, and San Antonio. Although analysts, after a thorough analysis of all markets and venues, the United Football League had made the difficult decision to depart from Memphis, Michigan, and San Antonio markets. Unfortunately, due to stadium constrictions, the available venues in those areas did not align with our new vision of focusing on a smaller, more intimate setting that had elevated the fan experience. We are deeply grateful for the incredible support and devoted fans in these communities. Your passion and commitment has been invaluable to the league. We are looking ahead to a potential expansion in 28. We'll remain hopeful that the right venues will become available in these markets so we can return and once again bring you UFL football. Further details about the league's next steps will be shared in our announcement next week.
Oh, you do realize, let's just start with this. October is the month for sports. I don't care what anybody says. You can say whatever you like. All the major sports happen the best in October, no matter what it is. So that means this is the best month for Rapoli to do this type of thing. Now, I'm going to be honest.
Okay.
I'm part of the show me state. So that means you got to show me something when you tell me that this is what you're doing at this point.
Mm-hmm.
You're telling me that you're going to have some big news. So if you watched the show last night, you heard when we had discussed about potential cities not being a part, and then those that are going to be a part of the UFL. I'm going to sit here and say on this live reaction, I'm shocked that Houston remained.
Ooh. Really?
I'm shocked that Houston remained. Yes.
Well, here,
Houston was the one looking as the short end of the stick. And I get San Antonio being put out of it. But my thing is this. The reason why I thought San Antonio was a better fit was because of the venue. But the problems became with the events that were happening in the venue. Whereas in Houston, it's not that deep.
Correct.
So that's why I'm really surprised about Houston, but I've learned that's the reason why, because it became a problem these last 3 years with San Antonio and the Alamo Dome. Okay.
Yeah.
So we got that. So basically, yeah, Denzel, it's starting to seem like Orlando's back in play again. Now, whether they become the Guardians or not, that's only up to what the UFL chooses to do at this point. Because remember, the Orlando Guardians was
look who it is. Rosen Cock is back, Arlington. Rosen. What's up, lady? How are you? Thank you for joining us on this little special.
She's been watching our show low key. It just ain't been saying anything.
Well, right, yeah. I know.
She's always been a fan of the show, so I'm not worried about her.
Let's look at this from a couple different ways, okay? Why are you shocked with San Antonio? I've been talking about it. I was like, But hold on, let me explain. I've been talking about why, and I said it last night, why San Antonio could leave. You had they got the fans got disrespected in San Antonio. The city of San Antonio didn't give them the proper respect that they deserved when they did the XFL championship and had 24,000 people in there. And then the city, because again, we said it last night on the show, Arlington, that ESPN and Fox and ABC, Disney, the UFL is so low on their totem pole, they don't even care. It's just filler for them. It's just filler. That's it. That's all it is. Yeah, I mean, yes, the Roughnecks probably will move. That's what that's what I've heard.
That's exactly what he said. That's exactly what he said. We had this conversation before we chose to do this live reaction. Was that the Roughnecks were moving to Shell Energy?
I mean, listen, you can make an argument for. Again, I'll say when Bill Alexander was posting his post about the Memphis Showboats and how well they were doing before the merger happened, right?
Right.
Before the merger happened, they were packing stadiums. They were packing the stadium there at Liberty. You know what I mean?
It was better than what it pertained to later on. But see, the problem with it is that Liberty Stadium was dealing with a bunch of junk that was not related to the UFL, but it actually was related to the UFL. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
It's related to it because they were talking about renovating it.
Yes, they were. They were talking about renovating it, and they did renovate it.
Exactly.
And they're still renovating it. I mean, look, I feel sorry for all three of these teams. You know what I'm saying? Like Rick says right here, Roughneck fans, you guys got another shot to keep your team. You guys got another shot to keep your team. Now, if you don't show up, guess what? I don't feel sorry for you. Hey, Predator couple, Rig, all you guys down there in Houston, I love you. I'm just telling you guys now, if they are moving to Shell Energy and you guys don't show up, and then they get rid of you guys in 2026 after the 2026.
It's your freaking fault. It's your freaking fault.
No offense. I love you, but I don't feel bad for you. Oh, look, somebody's calling me, Arlington. Hello, beautiful. How are you? We're good. Me and Arlington are live right now. You want to join us on the show because of all the news that just came out?
No. She's
Why
like,
not? Why not? What?
You have been gifted.
Well, just click on real quick. We're only doing a little quick one. Arlington's got to go to work, so click on real quick. You're fine. Just put it up in your dash like I do. You're not driving. It's just all of your stuff. It's just your green screen that I made for you. That's all it is, sweetie. Look. I'm going to say something on air to you. Are you ready? You ready, Arlington? I'm going to say something to Amanda on air. Are you ready, sweetie?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever said this to you on air, but I love you.
I love you.
Careful.
I love you.
Okay, I love you.
Bye.
Bye.
I think that's the first time I ever said that to her on the air, ain't it?
Yeah, that's the only time you really needed to say that. But that's
right. Yeah, I think that's the first time. But look, I mean, this is a major shot. Michigan was doing well, but when you got a venue that cost you $500,000 to run, Arlington, is it really the best thing?
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, Arlington, I was at Memphis games, right? The only time you really drew well was 2 games, and that was when they played the Battle Hawks, and then they did Memphis wrestling. That was it. The only 2 times that they really drew well since the merger happened. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm trying to find the pictures from Bill Alexander because I know he had posted them up, and I just can't find them from his page. He's got so many damn
They
picture.
got so many posts and stuff. Yeah, it's like that.
You know what I mean?
It's like that. I'm saying.
I mean, Arlington, look, it sucks because I really did like Michigan, or I did like Michigan. I did like Memphis. Everybody knows my soft spot for San Antonio. Which Arlington, keep going because you know what? I got to do something in remembrance of that. Ready?
What are you doing? So you sat there and just left these people as I'm sitting here trying to have I'm sitting here trying to get some food together, man. But anyway, I'm gonna read some of these comments while we're here. I feel bad for all the teams they are departing with. So you got the Parmesan cheese? Yeah, okay, cool. All right, I feel bad for all the teams they're departing with. I can understand where they're coming from. Yeah, I like how you just went away. What really shocks me is Michigan out of all the three teams, but it's more because of not having a venue than I completely understand. Yeah.
No, Michigan doesn't shock me when you're talking $500 million or $500,000. It doesn't shock me. Look, Arlington, I got my Brahmas hat there. You see, I'm wearing my Showboats hat. I mean, like Leo says right here, I am not surprised one bit by this news. Thought maybe it would be another year, but not surprised on how things went this last year. I mean, listen, San Antonio got the raw end of the deal with the way everything happened for them and all of that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Michigan got a raw deal because of how expensive their venue was. But guys, fans, I'm telling you now, if you guys don't see this, if you don't see this pattern right here, I don't know what to tell you guys. That means there is no team that is safe from being cut from this league. Nobody is safe. Arlington, am I right or am I wrong?
Yeah, that means even St. Louis ain't safe.
No. And if you want to think that we're safe, St. Louis, cool. Think you're safe all you want. But I can tell you this, we're not. We're not safe. I mean, you move San Antonio. See, right here. The UFL showed that they don't value the San Antonio fan base, the league itself, not the people who worked there. I mean, look, right here. It won't be the same without the San Antonio fan. You want to talk about a more loyal and crazier fan base than anything? Is that San Antonio fan base? Is how crazy they were. Arlington, am I wrong or am I right?
Well, I got a chance to witness that twice. When we went for the Battlehawks and Brahma game that very first week in the 23, and again at the XFL championship in 23.
Right?
That was the best.
It was a great, I loved San Antonio. And everybody knows why I have a soft spot in my heart for San Antonio. You know? Yeah, you know, Jersey says this. He goes, I want to see if they are really going to go back to the Vince and Oliver motto of making this league about the fans and the fan experience. I mean, listen, in his thing, he said that's what he wants to do. But here's
that's what the statement was. The statement was about the fans.
Right. But here's the question you guys really have to ask yourself, okay? Have we seen anything that this league has been anything about the fans since 2023?
The merger?
Since this merger, have we seen anything that this league has been about the fans?
Absolutely not.
Exactly.
I say that was missed so hard from 2020. And all Rock, Danny, and Jerry Carter had to do was just stay on that. But they did that because they wanted to create a legacy of their own. And the problem was when you did that, especially when you have a guy that went on his own documentary and said, I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to a football league. He said that.
Right.
He said that on Player 54. That was the first thing. And then when Danny got involved with it because she was interested because of what she saw with 2020.
Yeah.
And so what became of that, why didn't you start instantly going after football people? Why you didn't start to try to make amends with Oliver Luck? Because the one thing was, that was the main thing that made this thing stick. I don't care what nobody says. That team with Doug Flutie, Jim Caldwell, and all those people that worked on that team, putting that 2020 league together, they were on to something. They were on to something special of what the game was going to look like. Sam Schwartzstein is another.
Right.
What's my dude name that we met in Dallas in 2020? Eric, his name is escaping me. You know who I'm talking about. We met him.
What?
That night that we met him in Dallas for the game with the Battlehawks and the Renegades.
Oh,
we met him at the hotel.
I know what you're talking about. Arlington,
you know what I'm saying?
Right here. Yeah, here's a post from Mike Rapoli, right? Then this is at Mike Rapoli at Stable. It says, for the leadership team and me, it has been a very difficult decision. But if this league is going to survive and thrive in the long term, tough choices must be made and made quickly. I deeply sympathize with the fans and communities in Memphis, Michigan, and San Antonio. However, having the right venue is absolutely essential to the league's future success. Here's what he says, Arlington. I'm going to highlight it. If venue opportunities arise that meet our criteria in these markets, we will give serious consideration to returning.
As you should.
But again, right here, like what Leo says, the saddest thing is this is pretty much a death nail for spring football in San Antonio. People will not support it again after this failure.
And guess what? Rapoli's going to be fine with that.
You're right. But what's your take on that?
I think that's fact. Spring football's dead, baby.
Oh, and he also, I forgot to mention, he said thank you at the end of his post.
Spring football is dead in San Antonio, man.
Arlington, here's the real question. Is the UFL dead everywhere? Because how can you be a UFL fan? Okay? Arlington, I'm going to ask you a question. And I'm going to ask all of you people a question. How can you be a UFL fan? And this happened. This happened. Like right here, the Texans Talking Football says, did they really make a tough choice here in San Antonio, though? We have the Toyota field, and I didn't know if they've even talked to anyone about it. As a fan of this league, I don't, again, guys, this is what me and Arlington have always preached to you guys. This just isn't a team. This isn't just a team that you need to support. This is a league you need to support as a whole. Arlington, as a fan of this league, can you justify now putting money down for season tickets, knowing that San Antonio and Michigan are gone?
No. I need to put my money into that.
Why not? Tell me why. Why?
Because there's constant change every year. There's nothing that has any sustainability. No, right now they're trying to take accountability, but they're trying to have some sustainability by having everything constantly changing. Why?
Yeah, correct.
Why you couldn't find a way to make it work in those markets? Why Michigan couldn't find another venue? Why couldn't San Antonio find another venue? Why couldn't Memphis find another venue? Why? Because Memphis, I don't think they have another venue that they can use when it comes to football purposes. Michigan, you got a plethora of spots. And of course, with Texas talking football, they talking about with San Antonio got another spot. Why you didn't look at it?
Dan, I'm going to be honest, I don't know. I don't think that those two teams will return. You saw what Leo said earlier.
Michigan can. I think Michigan can. San Antonio, no. San Antonio was a San Antonio was a hard sell. If anything, when they had the San Antonio Commanders, that was probably the best team that they had in San Antonio.
Yeah.
That was a team that them guys could get behind, them fans could get behind. And that was in a totally different league.
Mm-hmm.
And when they had that was the benefit. When they got it back, they embraced it. But it became a struggle when it became with the whole ordeals with conflicts with the venue.
Mm-hmm.
And because there was conflicts with the venues, it became difficult.
Jersey, you're talking about a league that is close to $500 million in debt. Adding more teams is just going to hurt it. You have enough free marketing if certain people within the league would work with groups like us or Texans Talking Football or the Bottom Line Show or
Alternative Football Network. If they would have did all of that,
Network,
Pro Football Newsroom, UFL News Hub,
right? All of these alternative media outlets that have given them a platform since 2020. I mean, credit to those guys. What's that? The Michigan show that just started up with Lauren and his guy.
Panther Pride.
They got onto them because they had issues, because they didn't do it the right way. Jersey, they could have worked with you when you were down there in Vegas. I mean, here, Texas, Michigan could bounce back from this because they haven't played by 6 different leagues. San Antonio struggled to embrace the UFL because of how many times we got burnt in the past. Leo is right. Spring football is dead. Only the diehards will embrace it. But here's what we've seen, Arlington. What have we seen with this league? There is a hardcore fan base of about 600,000 to 1 million. Am I wrong or am I right, Arlington?
You're wrong. You're right about it.
That support this league. And there it is. The Michigan. Yeah, Arlington was right. The Panther Pride right there. Guys did a great job up there. But yet they got smacked on the hand. Arlington, I got smacked on the hand because my logo, they said, looked too much like the UFL logo. Got a cease and desist letter. But yet, every week, we keep doing this show, promoting this league. But again, Jersey, I'm going to ask. I agree they need to focus more on the fan engagement. But again, that's what I'm saying. You had people like this, people like us, people like all of those other leagues and media outlets that Arlington mentioned. They don't want to work with them. Why is that? Arlington, why is that? Yeah.
That right there. They didn't even want to work with the local media. That should tell you right. That is right there.
Yeah, I mean, look, right, exactly. Look, Los Mysterio says, Los, I'm going to tell you right now. Yeah, you guys survived the purge. You're going to be going to Shell Energy Stadium. I'm telling you, all of you Houston people need to get off your asses, bury whatever hatches that you have, and all start kissing each other's asses and start going to these games. working with each other to get more people in that venue.
I got to go, sir.
All right. Well, that's it for us. I mean, Eric, I'll send you an invite. Eric, you want to join the show, Eric? You want to join the show? You know what? I'm going to send anybody an invite right now that wants to join the show. I'm going to put it right here on the link. And if you guys want to get in, here it is. You guys anybody can get in and express their displeasure of this league. I mean, like Jersey said right here, he goes, I've had the plugs with the WNBA. I could have made, you're right. Could have. But that's not what these guys want. That's not what they want. They don't care. There's the link. Anybody click the link. It's right there. You want to come on and voice your frustrations. There's the link. Jump in. And I'll put you on. Arlington's got to go. I'll put you guys on because it seems like you guys want to keep talking about this. And the link is there. Click the link. Here is the link. Click the link, people. It's right there. Anybody wants to join it, feel free to join it. It's right there. There's the link. I mean, yeah, you're right, Sabrina. It does hurt. It does. Because I am a fan of this league. What's up, Wyatt? I am a fan of this league. Not just the Battlehawks. I am a fan of the UFL. I am a fan of spring football. And what this has done to me as a fan is a slap in the face and disrespect to the very people who pay the money to support this league. That's what it is. By getting rid of these three teams, and I understand it, it's a business. I understand that you're close to $500 million in debt. I get it. I get it. I get it. I get that you want to go to smaller venues. You should have went to smaller venues the first time. You should have done what they did in 2020 where Vince only opened up a certain amount of tickets for the Dome. He only opened up 30,000 for the Dome. They did that in every city. They only opened up a select amount. That's it. That's it. It's all they opened up. That's how they should have kept it. Yeah, I mean, you're right. We got rid of two domes. We got rid of two dome teams, Michigan and San Antonio. But again, think about it, though. You think about it. All right, I'm going to put the link in there one more time. Here it is. You guys keep going. So here's the link. All right, here we go. We got Mr. Eric from the Bottom Line Show. How are you, sir?
Good. How are you?
It's been a while since we've been on a show together.
It has been a while. There's no doubt about it.
Well, and plus, on a side note, we've been going as a family, because if a lot of people don't know, me and Eric are relatives in a certain way.
Semi-relatives, right?
Semi-relatives, right? I mean, so we've been going through a lot of stuff so over the last few weeks, but that's all we'll say. Eric, I know you guys talk about the Battlehawk, the UFL and all that. Right. You see your Battlehawk flag. You know, what's your thoughts on this, Eric? Because I know you've asked me, hey, what are you hearing? I've told you, like, I'm not going to talk about it. I'm like, bro, I'm telling you, this is shit I've heard.
I wasn't surprised. I mean, I do feel bad for Michigan and Memphis. I think we knew Memphis was probably going to get the axe regardless. I think there was always hope that Michigan and Birmingham was going to stick around. But let's face it, we thought Houston was dead in the water too. But it looks like they're going to survive this round as it is. San Antonio surprised me. It doesn't, when they come out and they say, well, stadium issues and stuff, okay, it becomes a little clearer, but it really kind of surprised me because there was not a whole lot of talk about San Antonio. It looked like we had the 4, and it looked like we had, was it going to be 4? Was it going to be 2? But it looked like we kind of had the cities. And then, you see Michigan and Memphis, you're like, okay. And then San Antonio, and you're like, what? That one was the one that kind of threw a curveball into all of it. But I understand the frustration. I feel bad for all the fan bases, and you mentioned it, the My Panther Pride, You mentioned, and other shows that are connected to different things, but
I'm just talking all these shows, Eric. And I'm going to bring in a guy we haven't seen in a while, and he's kind of looking a little gray, Eric. He's looking a little gray. Look at that. He's looking a little gray, isn't he?
Are you getting old,
What's
man?
going on, man?
He is getting old. Ladies
Yeah.
and gentlemen, Jersey the King. Jersey, before you go, I want to come back to what Eric said. Eric, they could have had, and this is a comment that Jersey had made earlier in the thing, they had all the free marketing they wanted in the world.
Right.
With all of these shows. All of these shows. Now, Eric,
all they had to do was reach out to us.
Right. Okay, Jersey, you, like being there in Vegas, you lost your team. Me and Eric are Battlehawk fans. We didn't lose our team, but you, a guy who lost your team, what can you expect from these three teams being moved and or lost?
Like SAJ was saying from Texans Talking Football, a lot of trust issues. A lot of trust is going to be lost from even the current fans of teams that are still in this league. Because it's like you said earlier, no team is safe. If you don't go out and support, they're not going to keep your team. But if there's not enough local marketing and advertising to even boost the team's presence in the city, how do you expect fans to go to the games? How do you expect ticket sales to improve? How do you expect attendance to improve? How do you expect anything to improve with this league if you're not going after the people that matter most? And that's the people buying the tickets. That's the people supporting the team. That's the people buying the merchandise. That's us, the fans. You have, like you said, we have all this free marketing that you could come and, damn it, you don't even have to pay us because we love the idea of spring football.
Right.
That's the crazy thing. You don't even have to pay us. We're doing it for free.
I don't think it's just spring football. I think it's just football in general. All right, Eric.
Well, yeah.
On what Jersey said, what's your thoughts on what Jersey said?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you. Like, what's your thoughts on what Jersey said? Can you agree with what Jersey's saying, or would you like to add something to what he's saying?
Well, I think this has been a process over the course of the last couple of years. I don't think you can put your thumb on any one thing. I think after year one, where we did see what I would call relatively strong television numbers and things like that. But I think there were some ticketing mishaps. There were people who were bought in as season ticket holders, and they find out that people are getting relatively the same seats or getting into the building for $10 or nothing in an attempt to create a visual for television. And then you move to season two, the tickets sales are down and things like that, and they're kind of struggling to kind of cope with that. I think the biggest misstep, and I can't speak for it. I'm not on the inside. I don't sit at a table with the owners, or I don't.
No, but you're a business owner. You own your own business.
But I think the biggest misstep that the UFL has done is understanding what they were and what they are. They are not the NFL, period. I made this comment on one of our shows. I said, the UFL has to understand that when I go to a Chicago Cubs game, thanks, by the way, Spurge, that was an easy one.
Shut up.
When I go to a Cubs game, I see Budweiser. I see all these national brands. Okay. When I go to a minor league game, the iCubs, for example, do you know what I see?
What? Local
Lots
stuff?
of local billboards. And this business that's located here in Des Moines for the iCubs, and this business who's located here in Des Moines for the iCubs, and this and that. I mean, my opinion is I think they just missed the mark of trying to be the NFL when we're never going to be the NFL, and that's fine. But I think they missed the mark locally, and I think for a lot of cities' sakes, I think for the UFL sakes, I think for our sake, people who love spring football, They really have to understand that it's local. It has to be. And,
Yeah.
you know, whether they make shows like yours, mine, whatever, a part of that, I guess in the grand scheme of things may be irrelevant. But if they don't get on the local level and they don't, you know, if there isn't somebody in St. Louis, for example, that is going door to door to businesses saying, hey, we want to put up your thing on the sidelines for X amount of dollars. And, you know, if you're at a different level, you know, you get this many season tickets. You go to a business and that employs 1,000 people. We're going to give you, you know, 50 season tickets for a $5,000 whatever it is, whatever the numbers you want to equate to it. And then they can rotate those 50 tickets. That generates enthusiasm within the locale rather than saying, we are the UFL. We do send guys to the NFL. We have success stories past years. We got success stories this year so far. You can't just assume if you want to compare yourselves to the NFL, you're going to lose every time. There's no question. You're going to lose every single time. So why not be something different? Why not look at it like a minor league baseball team does and say, listen, we need all the iCubs fans that we can to be here. That's what we need.
Yeah, all right, Jersey, you want to elaborate on what some of the stuff Eric's saying?
Yes, because speaking of that, and it goes back to you saying, to us talking about Vegas losing a team. We have the WNBA finals coming up. We just had our first professional football championship won by the Vegas Nighthawks in the IFL. The Las Vegas Aviators just won the Pacific Coast League and went to the minor league national championship. The sports theme in Vegas is growing so much. The winning in Vegas is growing. Like, we just had a team win a national championship in the indoor football league. That their presence is huge. I'm not even gonna lie. The Vegas Nighthawks presence is huge, and it's because of exactly what you were talking about. Local advertising in the inside of Lee's Family Forum for these different businesses locally in Las Vegas and Henderson. You know what I mean? So that's generating, like you said, so much enthusiasm for the fans and the local people. This is a sports town now. You can honestly say this isn't just a gambling and entertainment town. This is a sports town now. The Athletics are moving here. They're building a phenomenal stadium
Eric,
on the
are we
strip.
taking a trip to Vegas to go watch an Athletics game?
Only if they're playing the Cubs.
Well,
I mean, even if they're not, whoever they're playing, just to come and see the stadium that they're building.
Right.
It's
All
just
right. So I want to ask you guys this.
A beautiful thing, man.
Right. I spoke on it earlier with the losing of Michigan, which their attendance increased, right? San Antonio, who has averaged 12,000 over the last. Now, if you go by tickets sold and distributed, they were averaging 12,000, a game. Memphis, not so much. Where do you guys see this as a problem with the attendance dropping across the board with every team and every thing, right? As fans, because Jersey, you lost your team, but I know you still watch the UFL. Eric, you're in Iowa because you're an Iowa State fan. You may have one of the top quarterbacks in college football right now with Rocco Beck, who could probably get drafted. But you've been to Battlehawk games. Do you guys see that if stuff doesn't change, that other teams could be cut coming in the following years? And I'll start with Jersey first.
Yes. If your 3-time champion was on the verge of being cut, no team is safe. Like, honestly, Houston, like you said, you Houston fans better get off your ass this season. Because if not, Houston's done. This is going to be the last season for Houston if the fan base if the attendance doesn't increase. And another thing, it could be one of the last years for this league if local advertising and marketing does not increase. If they do not put money into local advertising and marketing and dealing with these local news outlets that can help market your team on a way higher scale, but on a more local scale that's on a high level, then you're not going to succeed. And you're just going to keep moving teams and moving teams and moving teams, and people are going to get tired of watching it. And they're going to be like, you know what? I'm tired of this league. I'm tired of watching this. Every year, there's a new team in a new market, or there's more these three teams in a new market, and this, that, and the third. People are going to get tired of it.
All right.
If you
Eric?
don't go back to the motto of Vince McMahon and Oliver Luck and the vision that they had from 2020, this league is not going to survive. It's as simple as that.
Good point. Eric, would you like to elaborate on that?
Well, I think they are in a very precarious situation. For the simple fact that you can't play hopscotch, because what you're going to have is you're going to have other. Jersey mentioned it with Houston. Now you're going to have a fan base that the KJs of the world and stuff are excited that their team's going to remain. Okay, but what happens if 2 or 3 games into the season next year, all of a sudden there's 3,000 people in Houston? It's dead in the water then. And you're going to have other fan bases. More people are more apt to say, I'm not even going to invest my time in it, rather than be scared into attending. That's my thought.
Exactly.
If you cannot drum up local support, like I said, how many businesses are there just in the St. Louis area that employ thousands of people?
A lot.
Okay, if there's a lot of those, then why are we not approaching those businesses and say, hey, we want you to partner with the Battlehawks, and this is what we're going to do for you. And it's a way for them to drum money up for advertising and things like that. It's a way for them to, here's 100 season tickets. Do with them as you please. Now you've got 100 people from this business, 100 people, or 500 from this business, or however big and whatever level they invest in. Why are they not doing that? I mean, I'm not a marketing genius. I didn't go to school for that. But what I'm saying is, to me, those types of things seem so very simple. Maybe they're not. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I don't understand it. But it doesn't seem that tough.
I'm going to give the guy right below us, Eric, some credit. Being in Vegas, right? He had said on one of his shows that this league needs to go to these casinos.
Exactly.
And strike up deals to where you could get fans from the other cities to come into Vegas, give them a cheaper hotel, give them a comp ticket, and to go to the Vegas Vipers game. But they didn't do that. So
they could have sat here. Listen, they could have real quick.
We have one of my most favorite people in the world, because the last name is such a great last name. And I would always get in trouble, but one of my favorite guests, Cock, is here. How are you, ma'am?
I missed you guys.
I know. How are you? All right, you're sitting here, you're listening to all of this, you're a fan. What is your thoughts on all of this?
I'm going to burn a bridge. I'm going to burn a big bridge, but I
haven't burned bridges.
Not with you guys, with UFL, formerly XFL, because they were, I know, speaking only about St. Louis, I gave them all this information years ago, and I was told no. And I'm going to summarize the reasoning, and I mentioned it in the chat. It's because they want to treat all the cities the same across the board, and that does not include reaching out to anything local. They're coming in with this idea that they are going to be the direct competition, as we've all said, with the NFL, which, that's silly. You guys have already nailed it. You've nailed it. We need to be more like the minor leagues. Think back when the NFL first started. We weren't alive back then, but history shows they went through growing pains as well. It's okay to have growing pains. It's okay to start as a minor league and grow. Maybe in 100 years, long after we're gone, maybe they will be in competition with the NFL. But they do not want to reach out to anything local. I agree with everything you said about the casinos for Las Vegas. That is a no-brainer to me. In St. Louis, no, they will not. I'm talking directly with, I'm not going to name them, but I've talked to the guy in charge of marketing.
Hold on, Cock. You were talking about marketing. That's kind of what this lady down here does. was marketing, and that's what she's kind of do. And I do remember her reaching out in 2020 and in 23 to do that. So then I'm going to ask all three of you guys here. So we saw the success, and then COVID took away the XFL in 2020.
It took away all our progress.
Right. They came back, like Arlington had mentioned, that they had the playbook for Vince McMahon and Oliver Love. Eric, one of your co-hosts, former co-host, Brett, said it all the time. Use Vince's and Oliver's playbook. So I'm going to ask you guys, where do you think, when this all happened, as fans, where do you think it went wrong? And Cock, I'll go with you first because you just have the better name than the other two.
For the record, that's not actually my name. I'm just saying. I just let you say it.
It's a long-standing running joke.
It's a long-standing running joke. I just want it on the record.
Right.
Okay, as a fan, I cannot believe they didn't learn from the mistakes that the previous people had already done. That seems so simple. If they had taken the plans, researched what worked and what didn't, they would have been so much further in the growth as a league. I'm dumbfounded that they didn't, learn their history.
All right, Jersey.
I agree. I feel that they haven't learned from their mistakes, and it's just like history repeating itself. But just they have to, if they're going to make this move, to move teams into new markets or go touch these new markets, then they have to go after markets that have been screaming for a team. And one thing I feel that the XFL under Danny and Dwayne, as well as the USFL under Fox and everyone else, and then them together as the UFL, they're afraid to spend the necessary money to make the necessary money for
$500 million, Jersey.
They're afraid. Listen. Yes, you know how much it takes to run a football league.
Easy.
Ask the NFL. Listen. No, what I'm saying is, what I'm saying is, they're afraid to spend the necessary money.
Right. I got a birthday party I have to go to in less than 30 minutes.
I think spend $100 million in advertising.
I think the biggest, and maybe Rapoli is the guy that they're coming in to kind of hatchet it and start from, I don't know, scratch. Maybe he is this guy. I mean, he has said some things that I agree with that I think could potentially help. But bottom line is, I don't think that any of it is going to matter if they are not willing to be in the cities. If they're not willing to do those things, to put a ground game together, to spin the support within the cities, you can't just, in my opinion, and again, I'm not a marketing major, I'm not anything. If you cannot expect that if you just throw a UFL banner on a billboard in the middle of a city, that they are just going to flock to it and that's it. You just can't assume that. And I think there's been too much of that. I mean, they partnered with the United States Army last year. I mean, okay, but that's not really getting the necessary traction in St. Louis or San Antonio or DC or wherever we're talking about. Like, that makes you look like an NFL wannabe, and that's not what the UFL. That isn't what it should be. The UFL should be its own thing. And I think if they look at it from a minor league baseball standpoint, I think they would be way farther ahead. They'd be way money ahead. But they have tried too much to be like the NFL's little brother, and they need to separate from that.
All right, Eric, I'm glad you said that because I've been talking about this, and I want to get this will be the last question because I hear water running upstairs. So I know somebody's home and I'm going to be in trouble. But that's okay. I mean, when am I never in trouble, right, Eric?
You're not. So
right. When am I ever not in trouble? But I do want to ask you guys something because Patrick Ruffino a while back put out an article about, is this really the league of opportunity? Like they've promoted themselves to be, right? Eric, you as a coach, Jersey, you getting the opportunities to play. Rosenberg, the things that you've done with, like, can I tell people she's like a competitive cheer? She does competitive. She did a competitive cheer group and all that. So it's all about competition. If you're really a league of opportunity, like they say they are, right? Don't you give every single player a chance to play? Isn't that where they've hurt themselves?
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with Eric first, since you're the baseball coach and all of that stuff.
I've actually had a thought of that, and it comes from one of our guests on the show, and I've kind of had a long time to think about it. Why? I guess it's fine. I can look at our Battlehawks, and I can see this guy and this guy and this guy that were in the NFL. They came back. They got pulled in the NFL, and they came back. My opinion is this: the best way to change the UFL is get a bunch. If everybody has their draft board, and we got the Caleb Williams and the Jaden Daniels and all these guys up here, why is the UFL not looking at these guys down here that don't make a board, that don't have all of this exposure for, I was a first round draft pick, second, third, fourth. You know what? There's plenty of guys that don't get drafted. If the UFL wants to truly be, you can't call yourself a developmental league or a league of opportunity if you're just bringing, I don't mean this in a negative way, but it is what it is. If you're just bringing down NFL retreads. I mean, you're not a league of opportunity if all you're doing is bringing down NFL retreads. Now, if you rebrand yourself and you get away from that league of opportunity and you're just a league, now that makes sense. But if you're a league of opportunity, then it should be take away these guys that are on draft boards and things like that. Where are these guys out of Grambling? Where are these guys out of, USF or whatever, that weren't on draft boards that could maybe still play? That to me would make the UFL truly a league of opportunity, or flip the script, bring the NFL retreads in there and just be the UFL. Quit calling it the land of opportunity it has happened, but it's a smaller percentage than a guy thinks.
Right. All right, Jersey, a guy who played football and all of that. You heard what Eric had to say.
I totally agree. And to elaborate on it, I feel that in a way they're not a real league of opportunities. Like you said, there's so many players that get cut and don't have an opportunity to really showcase their skills or hone their skills and get better, because they have to find a league to go and play in because they're not given a chance in the so-called league of opportunity. And that goes back to the fans wanting more teams and forcing these owners to spend more money. At the end of the day, they're going to have to spend a shit ton of money. Excuse my language. They're going to have to spend a crap ton of money. They're going to have to. They're going to have to make a marketing budget. They're going to have to make a budget for expenses for the players, for expenses of operations. They're going to have to do that to really turn this into a league of opportunity and stop trying to be, like Eric said, and like we all been saying, the NFL's little brother. Take a page out of the IFL's book. They're succeeding and they're lasting and they're actually growing because they said, you know what, we're not going to try and be like any other league. We're just going to be ourselves. So if the UFL were to do that and to get their own identity, and if they want to be a league of opportunity, then they're going to have to get more teams. Unfortunately, they're going to have to expand. They're going to have to open up the market on the West Coast. They're going to have to open up the market in the South or like the Southeast. Go back to Florida. You know what I mean? You might have to hit markets that you wouldn't even think there will be a football team in. You know what I mean? Okay. So if you really want to be a league of opportunity and give all these players who, like Eric said, don't go drafted and then don't get signed as an undrafted free agent, you have to expand your league. You're going to have to spend more money. Sorry, okay. But it is what it is.
All right, Rosenberg, as the competitive cheer person and all of that stuff, you know the opportunities. Eric's a baseball coach. Jersey played football, right?
I'm going to, as a former professional NFL cheerleader for the football Cardinals when they were in St. Louis, I'm just putting it on the record. I am going to agree with both of them and even expand it a little bit more in relation to St. Louis. If you take what both gentlemen have just said, think of it as a building block that would build that community connection and that bridge. You got the kids going from high school in St. Louis to college in the St. Louis metro area. Then they have a chance to go on to what will be what we're quoting as a minor league, UFL. I mean, the continuity and that bridge that will be built with the community if they would redirect as a league, redirect themselves to what they're filling a need. What is it? The Robots movie, Robin Williams said, find a need, fill a need.
Mm-hmm.
They have this opportunity to fill this need, and that would also reinforce the connection with the cities they're in. Yeah, just
Exactly.
It's a no-brainer to me.
Yeah. All right. Well, look, I know I'm going to be in trouble, but that's okay. That's life. I always get in trouble. But anyways, anybody give a shameless plug to your show. When is it? All that good stuff.
The bottom line, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time every single Wednesday.
Jersey, you got anything going on?
The Jersey the King show and the Gridiron will be back towards the end of the year. Got some things I'm working on, as well as some other things in the works. So just follow my social media pages and just check out, have those notifications on because I will be posting on my future endeavors. So I got a lot of things working on. I got a lot of things I'm working on, guys. So be prepared.
All right,
coming back soon. I'm coming back with a vengeance. Miss Cox, it was a pleasure meeting you.
It's a pleasure. The Big Red Line never left St. Louis. We're always around, and we are still at local events and supporting the city because we've kept that bridge.
There you go. All right. Well, this is the X-Fan Show. I'm Spurge. Arlington had to take off. Thank you for everybody who joined in. Look, somebody said right here, Robert said they'll be watching on Wednesday. Go check out the Bottom Line because they're a totally different show than the X-Fan Show. Totally different. They're a little more professional than we are. I'll give them that. They're a little more
very football centered. Very football centered.
And a little more professional. Aaron, you going double or nothing against the Brewers and Cubs?
No, I already got your money. Why would I want to give you an opportunity?
We gonna go double or nothing?
No. And root for those WNBA finals to go 7 games and the Aces to take it in 7.
Oh, here he goes with the Aces. Shut up, Vegas.
A'ja Wilson's the best. Hey, A'ja Wilson's the best women's basketball player in the world. I'm saying it here. She's the living goat.
Good, but she's not the most influential. And I'll bring you on the Outlaw Sports Talk, and we'll talk about it. That being said, this is Spurge. I will see you guys Monday at 6 o'clock for the Outlaw Sports.